How many times have you camped out, would you say?
Oh, about 10.
He waved to me. He did. The Welsh flags. Did you see? And he laughed.
To say, but I'd rather camp than sleep indoors.
Okay. What are you most looking forward to about the coronation?
I think I'm quite looking forward to making my what's it called? The
Oath of
the
Allegiance.
Oath of Allegiance.
Oh.
Yes, because I've never done that before.
No.
Why not?
So you can't say it's not popular. So the Republicans might be saying it's not popular, but clearly it's more popular than everybody thought because there's a lot more people here than were here for the Platinum Jubilee.
Royal superfans camping alongside the Mall are part and parcel of every royal event. For centuries, British subjects have flocked to see their kings and queens at jubilees, coronations, beheadings and everything in between. Hey kids, they're executing Anne Boleyn. Let's walk for miles to get the best spot. More recently, people flocked to the Queen's coronation, Charles and Diana's wedding, and even last year lined the streets for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee.
And I say thank you, ma'am, and you are the crown jewels of the United Kingdom.
And I'd be happy to pay double taxes for her.
But why would people do the same for Charles? Only 15% of the country say they're very interested in the King's coronation. And 51% of the country don't believe that the coronation, costing an estimated £100 million, should even be publicly funded. With the country in the throes of a cost of living crisis, is it even fair for the taxpayer to foot the bill? And in a modern country, should we even have a monarchy at all? These people certainly think so.
What do you think? You like it?
I'm down here at the Mall to meet the royal superfans who are camping out for the man who God chose to be king. How many times have you camped out, would you say?
Oh, about 10.
What are we doing here today?
We're here because we're monarchists. We love the king and we want him to know that.
Yeah, we home educate, so this is kind of like a living history lesson for us.
Cassandra, where have you come from?
I've come from Southern California, about an hour north of San Diego.
Melbourne, Australia.
I was here for the Jubilee, a couple of the Queen's birthdays, and so the funeral I had heart surgery and I couldn't fly, so I did miss that. But I'm here for this and I'm thrilled.
And famously, America got rid of the royal family.
Yeah. I went and saw Hamilton last night. Sorry about that. I was listening to the soundtrack on my, while I've been walking around the city, and You'll Be Back by King George was playing, and I'm like, I'm here, I'm back.
And I was up here for the funeral of the Queen, and I saw the expression on Princess Anne and Princess Charles' faces, and I just thought, I'm going to come and support them.
What do you think the coronation means for the country?
Well, it's a boost in this sort of drab economic period when we're all struggling to feed and heat one another, to get eaten. So I think it's a big boost. It's something just to take your mind off everyday jobs that are, oppressing you a bit. So
It's the 7th time I've done this.
What were the previous 6?
Charles and Diana in 1981, before you were born. Andrew and Sarah, Queen Mother's funeral, William and Catherine, the Jubilee pageant on the Thames, and Harry and Meghan at Windsor.
And when you get here, it's like a big party. Everyone's sort of sitting here talking, chatting, and look after their stuff while they go and get something to eat, and they bring you back chips and all this. It's good, yeah. It's to say, but I'd rather camp than sleep indoors.
Okay.
Well, as you can see, I've got my tent, which I practised at home, putting up and down and sleeping in for a fortnight on hardwood floor. I've got my self-inflating mattress and sleeping bag, and obviously a cover, and my trolley full of drinks and backpack and chair.
Since my wife is a strong royalist, she always pulls me to these things.
What are you most looking forward to about the coronation?
I think I'm quite looking forward to making my what's it called? The
Oath of Allegiance.
The Oath of Allegiance. Yes, because I've never done that before.
No.
Why not?
I'm actually eating military meals that you heat up with a water-activated heat pack, so I don't have to bother with cooking and pots and pans.
That's military level precision you've got for this.
And they're stodgy meals like dumplings, casseroles, meatballs, so I don't have to leave my pitch to go and buy food and queue and pay stupid money for a pasty.
I have done a lot of work in the last month, so I've built up a lot of spare money so that I can use it to spend on the coronation, but as I say, it's 3 generations of my family that will be here, so it's worth every penny to have the memories of it. together.
Just bought things when I could afford them because I've had time to, and even if I did have to struggle, I'd do it anyway. It's memories. It's making me happy. I mean, come on, who wouldn't love this?
The campers might have been frugal, but the state is not. The ceremony is rumoured to cost around £100 million, which is enough to give every food bank in the UK more than £38,000 each. Critics say the sheer scale of the pomp and ceremony is inappropriate during a cost of living crisis. In a world where many are choosing between heating and eating, why should we spend all that money on the coronation of an independently wealthy man? There's been some criticism of the event about the cost of it, and Britain is in a cost of living crisis. Some people can't afford to turn their gas on. What do you make of that criticism?
I obviously I don't hold with it. I've got to be a bit restrained.
I make of that the money they spend on the royal family, it comes back a millionfold in tourists and selling the rights to the screenings and all that sort of stuff. I would think it's probably about 10 to 1.
So after everything we've been through, I think it lifts the people's spirit, doesn't it? You get out and you see everything and meet people and have a good time, chat, and rather than sitting indoors on your own. So, no, I think it's a very good thing.
You will always have those that will criticise everything. It's costing a lot of money, so let him pay. And yeah, I mean, they get an allowance, they get a royal allowance, and of course they should pay for some things, like when the Windsor Castle had the fire, the Queen had to front up to that. But this sort of thing, it's for the country. I don't mind putting my taxes to this sort of thing.
We mustn't forget that the royalty have been around for 1,000 years. It's deep rooted in the psyche of this country, and no other country in the world has it.
This is for the country. It makes people happy, it's celebratory. And if you don't agree with royalty or how much they cost, you don't have to take part. But don't spoil it for everybody else that does want to take part.
Look, the tourists come over, will pay for it. And it's always been paid by state. By state. He's not king for himself. He's a king for country, crowned by, for the country. It's just pathetic to say the taxpayer shouldn't pay.
Despite the best efforts of the people here, apathy towards the monarchy itself is growing, with just 29% of people describing them as very important, the lowest ever. Some are taking this anti-monarchist sentiment further, with 1,500 protesters, organised by protest group Republic, planning to dress in yellow and chant "Not My King" as Charles's carriage passes them. It's fair to say that this has spooked the establishment, with the Metropolitan Police announcing that anyone intent on disrupting the coronation will be dealt with robustly.
It's a free country, they're allowed to say he's not their king. But, I mean, they live in Britain, so he will be their king, whether they say it or not.
What do you make of the protest?
Do you know what? Don't even want to give them any coverage.
You don't want to mention them at all?
No, don't want to give them no coverage. They don't deserve it.
Why don't they deserve it?
I don't want to talk about them. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve coverage. There's mad people in the world. You just don't know how mad they're going to be, do you?
Because I'm here to celebrate what's happening, and they've got plenty of time to, uncelebrate. But it's like I don't think that the small percentage of those should be given an undue percentage of airtime for what they're doing.
I don't think they're very well educated, and I don't think they've thought through what the monarchy and how long the monarchy has been in this country for. It is part of the fabric of living in this country. If you don't like it, live in another country. I don't know.
But I don't think they'd be particularly safe. Because there's so many people here.
From you. Yes, we stand for it.
Because if there's so many people here, someone's going to want to shut them up. So, yeah.
When we came to the Jubilee, they carried a guy out because of demonstrations, not so much here, but there were a couple here. I think someone went in front of the horses. And they carried a guy out that was shouting stuff, but we thought it was someone who fainted. And then Hillary, who was nearest to him, realised. So she shouted out, "God save the Queen." So we all shouted out, "God save the Queen," and I said, "Off with his head."
A group called Republic, who are there just planning to hold up signs and chant "Not My King" as the horse goes past. They're not going to disrupt it. They're not going to disrupt the procession. Do you think that's allowed?
What, on Saturday?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Why don't they pick another day? Why Saturday? Look at us. We're camping out. I'm away from my grandchildren, my
my husband, my children, to celebrate something fantastic. No, they can't do that. I don't think it's right.
What are you most looking forward to about Saturday?
When it goes past in the gold carriage, I can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing.
The coronation of King Charles III is the first in a generation. While some hope it will be the last, as long as there's a golden carriage and Union Jacks, there will be a small group of people with enough supplies to mount a sustained military campaign, sleeping on pavements to bring it in.
And I think there's so many people, because when we were here for the Platinum Jubilee this early, there wasn't anywhere near as many people camping. There's a lot more people camping, so you can't say it's not popular. So the Republicans might be saying it's not popular, but clearly it's more popular than everybody thought, because there's a lot more people here than were here for the Platinum Jubilee.
What's one thing you could tell the King if he was watching this video?
Could he tell me if Leeds will be relegated Saturday?